You're listening to Travel Talk on WLGN, your weekly guide to places to explore in the Hocking Hills and the people behind them. I'm James Martin from ExploreHockingHills.com, and with me in the studio today is the one, the only, the legend, Kevin Knight. Kevin, thanks for coming in.
Hey, how's it going, James?
Yeah, doing really good, thanks, yeah. Just tell us a little bit about yourself. How did your career, how's it developed so far?
Sure, absolutely. So my name's Kevin, Kevin Knight. I'm a local here in Logan, Ohio. And I tell you, I started off like every young local boy. You know, I went to school at Logan High School, got to go through the ropes, got to discover my interests. Early on, I was really big into audio-video production. And then, of course, I started my job at the ripe old age of 16 at the Old Dutch Restaurant, and here I am, it would be 21 years later here in March, and I'm still there doing my thing. But, ever since I got into my 20s and 30s, I was one of those kids who, I had become an adult at a really young age, and now there's time to actually pursue some of my dreams and passions. Mm-hmm. Actually, during COVID was when my food truck, Nights at the Kitchen Table, came to be. It came by pure accident. Times were tough, and with the restaurants closing during COVID, it just, there's actually a story, I believe, in the Logan Hocking Times, so I won't bore you with the entire story, but essentially, this whole business happened by accident, and it couldn't have been done without the local support here in Logan and Hocking County. Within over a year, we started this successful food trailer business called Nights at the Kitchen Table. I tell you, ever since then, I've just been interested in getting my hands into whatever I'm passionate about and turning it into something that is just awesome and big and supports the local community.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, obviously, you were using a play on your surname, and it's an awesome surname. And for somebody of my age, when I think of Knight, then I'm just going to think Michael Knight and Knight Rider. Right. But you just didn't go there, did you?
No.
You went, it's really funny because, of course, I was on the other side of the Atlantic when I was a kid, and I was thinking about Knight Rider over in California in the States. Mm-hmm. You were thinking about England.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So
I was thinking about England. I was thinking about Britannica. Medieval times, the Normans and Saxons, your Anglo-Saxon, my family has been a big fan of history and genealogy when it comes to the medieval times for years. It all started, when we started collecting, medieval history and watched medieval movies and started going to Ren fairs. And it's just like, man, this needs to be everywhere. I feel like it's a good way for kids to learn more about history, a lot more interesting than from a textbook in a classroom. Mm-hmm. What's more fun than reading about swords and actually picking one up and swinging it yourself?
Well, that's exactly right, yeah.
Yes.
Now, you've actually brought some stuff into the studio for us to have a look at today. So why don't you tell us about what you've brought in?
So one of the things I got here is I have what's called an ROA, Romans of Alexander helm. And this is a helm that was actually built by a company out of Ukraine. It's a standardized hardened steel helm that we use in our sport that we have gotten into here locally. The technical name is Buhurt. B-U-H-U-R-T, but another name that you'll recognize it from is basically Armored Combat Sports. Sport that came over here in the States probably about a decade ago. Think MMA, but with medieval armor and weapons. So think guys dressing up in full night outfits that are fully functional, fully designed for real contact, and actually getting out there in a ring and fighting, not just for entertainment purposes, but actual sport. Awesome new sport. It's just growing rapidly in the States right now, here in the last few years. And I've been a fan of it since I saw it at a Ren fair a few years back. And then I ended up, hanging out with some of the guys and some of the teams, but there really wasn't a team close here to Logan. And we just made the decision, Logan needs a sports team. We don't have anything like that here. Let's do it. So we started a team here locally. We call ourselves the Hocking Hills Highlanders. Mm-hmm. One cool thing about the team is, we have gotten together. It's been a good fellowship. It's been a good thing to bring in, teenagers and people who, just need an extracurricular activity to keep them out of trouble. So we get together, we be merry, we fellowship, we bash heads together, we hug it out afterwards. And in the long run, we're hoping to do all kinds of awesome things for the community, like organized charity work and things like that. So it's pretty cool what you can do with an organized sport like this, that would bring attraction to everybody, but then also be beneficial for the town eventually. Yeah. But, it's cool to be able to find different ways to represent your local community.
Right.
So.
You've been listening to Travel Talk on 98.3 WLGN. To discover more about the Hocking Hills region, visit exploreHockingHills.com or visit one of the Welcome and Visitors Centres listed on the site. Thanks for listening. My name is James Martin, and I'll catch you next time. You're listening to Travel Talk on WLGN, your weekly guide to places to explore in the Hocking Hills and the people behind them. I'm James Martin from exploreHockingHills.com, and with me in the studio today is the one, the only, the legend, Kevin Knight. Kevin, thanks for coming in. This is an actual combat sport.
That's
is that right? It's a contact sport.
Absolutely.
The armor is there for a reason.
Oh, yes.
And I saw that Lily earlier got very obsessed with the sword that you bought in and was swishing it away. So you do actually hit each other with them?
Absolutely, full force. When you get inside that list, I mean, there's different game types you can do where it's either score-based or melee-based, where the goal is to get the guy to the ground. But yes, in this sport, like I said, it's not. It can be an entertainment for people, but it's not. I mean, it's full force. You keep going, man. It's not staged in any way whatsoever. When we go out there, me and the guys, and we do a show for people, we have no idea what's going to happen at all.
Wow.
So
I feel like you need to bring up
the
swords are not sharp. They're dulled to
absolutely.
the point where you're not going to actually hurt each other.
Yeah,
And I'm sorry I didn't mention that part. Yes, of course there is regulation. Where your swords have to be dulled. I believe the regulation is a 3 millimeter end, obviously for safety, because the goal is to get a good whack and not necessarily actually chop off limbs. So in the sport itself, there is some regulations to maintain safety, and I know that's probably one of the first things people might wonder is that safe? Are you going to kill somebody? No, not at all. Believe it or not, there's been less injury in this sport than there has football. I mean, you got to think, for as much as you're wailing around metal, you got lots of metal that's protecting you too. So believe it or not, it's actually a pretty safe and fun sport to be a part of. But my goodness, your cardio has to be up.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So tell us about the medieval festival that's obviously coming up soon.
Absolutely.
This is going to be a large part of that, where you actually get to see this real contact sport. And as I say, I'm just fascinated now, because I thought it was just reenactment, but clearly it isn't.
Absolutely, yes. So the medieval festival, this was an idea that my wife and I came up with last year. We had frequented Brewery 33 with our food truck, setting up for them on weekends and such. And, we've been festival goers for years, going to the Ohio Renaissance Festival and a few other ones around. But, we wanted something closer to home. We just felt like this area was lacking a lot of things, including some type of medieval festival, Renaissance Festival. So we did. We went to the Brewery 33 people and asked them, hey, is there any way you'd be willing to host a medieval festival with us here? They thought it was an interesting idea. They thought they'd give it a shot, and that was last year, our first year. The first year was a really good turnout. We had about 4,000 to 5,000 people show up that year between 2 days. And this year, our Facebook event page is now up to about 24,000 interested. So the sheer rapid growth of when good things happen is just unfathomable. And I tell you that there's something about the local community, Logan and Hocking County, that they just get behind things so quickly if they if they enjoy the vision of what you have going on. And I've seen it happen now multiple times with Knights of the Kitchen Table, now with our Hocking Hills Medieval Festival. And then once again, our new Boohart team, the Hocking Hills Highlanders. It's crazy what you can set your mind out to do when the passion and love is there, and then everybody has the same passion, love, and support behind you.
That's exactly right, yeah. What goes on at the actual Brewery 33? Do they serve up loads of mead or things like that?
Oh, goodness. So I tell you what, Mr. Dave has some really good stuff going on this year. Last year, it happened so fast, there was only so much time to brew stuff, but he's going to have about 3 or 4 different flavors of really good mead. He's also brewing some old Germanic-style ales, and, definitely getting into the spirit of history. We're going to have all kinds of really good refreshments that'll definitely take you back in time if watching the armored fighting doesn't. So.
You've been listening to Travel Talk on 98.3 WLGN. To discover more about the Hocking Hills region, visit exploreHockingHills.com or visit one of the Welcome and Visitors Centres listed on the site. Thanks for listening. My name is James Martin, and I'll catch you next time. You're listening to Travel Talk on WLGN, your weekly guide to places to explore in the Hocking Hills and the people behind them. I'm James Martin from ExploreHockingHills.com, and with me in the studio today is the one, the only, the legend, Kevin Knight. Kevin, thanks for coming in. So tell us about the medieval festival that's obviously coming up soon.
This year is going to about double in size from last year. We, along with the armored combat fighting, you'll get to see. We also have some medieval singers come in and performing, some dancers. We're also going to be having a medieval circus involved as well. There's a pickle pirate going around, selling good old pickles and jerky. I mean, there's all kinds of awesome new things this year that everybody, for the whole family, for kids, adults. In fact, we're going to have a what's called a Swordmasters Challenge group come, where basically, if you don't want to use the middle, they're going to bring a bunch of foam stuff, and you yourself will be able to get into a little ring and try it out.
Nice.
So there you go.
Yeah.
You know that saying from that one movie, if you build it, they will come. That's exactly what has happened here. And, we've kept it just about the love of history,
right,
and that's all it took.
Yeah, so. And the great thing is it's an idea that's been developed by someone local. The local community is behind it, and that's what the event is for.
Absolutely.
Of course there'll be tourists coming in and visiting as well, but it is predominantly for us locals,
right.
And that's what it's all about. And so what else would you expect to find at the festival? You're going to have food trucks and things there, right?
Oh yes, yep. And so Knight's Occasion Table will be there with their good old bourbon chicken. But then we have a couple more food trucks that'll be available. We actually have about 54 vendors this year. We only had about 18 last year. So there'll be all kinds of food vendors. There'll be some medieval, like, I'm not going to say candy, more like bakery type vendors. But anything you could think of, anything from leather vendors to weapon vendors to chainmail vendors, jewelry vendors. I mean, you name it. I know a lot of the listeners might have gone to a Ren Fair before. Just imagine like going to the Ohio Renaissance Festival. We will have everything they have to offer, and obviously just a little bit smaller, limited amount of space. But this year it's going to go big. This year is going to be a big one, and we're just hoping it continues to grow. And hopefully this will become a local staple. Well,
it seems like it's going that way for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell everybody about when the event is and all of the contact information.
Absolutely. So the Hocking Hills Medieval Festival is going to be August 24th and 25th. It's a Saturday and a Sunday, running from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Saturday, 11 to 6 on Sunday. It is free admission for everybody. We are doing $10 parking, though, to help with festival costs. But, if you bring a big old van with 20 people, have at it. Just a $10 parking fee, and that's it. We definitely wanted to put more money in everybody's pockets, to be able to buy from, local vendors and everything else. And that's a cool thing too. We actually have a lot of vendors in this festival that are from the local area, know. And from what I've been told, there's so many people benefiting. You got every campsite and campground and hotel completely booked up this weekend. You got some other local eateries that are definitely going to be seeing some extra attention. So that's my favorite part about this is, I'm not anybody special. I'm just a common local guy who, decided to jump and try a few passionate things. Being able to see it make a difference the way it has just been outstanding. Like for me, that's enough.
Right. So what's up in the horizon for you, Kevin?
Well, I tell you, I definitely would love to see this festival grow, to the size of Ohio Renaissance Festival itself. I wish I had more answers for you. I tell you what, I'm basically a dog chasing a bone kind of guy. Like, to be honest with you, I don't know what's going to happen 10 years from now, but I tell you what, within 3 years, we have 3 things that have started that's just growing rapidly. I foresee myself definitely getting involved more in the community, on a senior level at some point. So definitely look for that if I ever decide to go down that path. I wish I had some more vivid details regarding the future, but all I can say is whatever's going to happen is going to be legendary.
Yeah, well, I would thoroughly recommend that path because, as you know, I'm city councillor, and I will tell you, it is so fulfilling being able to be part of making the difference and making the, sort of positive changes so that we all benefit. Well, thanks so much for coming in, Kevin. Wish you all the best for the festival, and thanks for giving us a much bigger insight into what's going on. And I'm almost half tempted to go there and just get myself suited up myself. That's just absolutely wonderful.
James, I'll have a helmet ready for you, brother.
Yeah,
anytime.
That sounds great. Well, Kevin Knight, thanks for coming in. We really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you so much, James Martin. Thank you, WLGN. And yes, if you're filling up for it, August 24th, 25th, come see us at the 2024 Hocking Hills Medieval Festival.
You've been listening to Travel Talk on 98.3 WLGN. To discover more about the Hocking Hills region, visit exploreHockingHills.com or visit one of the Welcome and Visitors Centres listed on the site. Thanks for listening. My name is James Martin, and I'll catch you next time.